Evening, folks, from the East Coast to West Coast to the North and South and everywhere in between around the world. How are you doing today? It is a cloudy day here in Indiana, again in Terre Haute, but that's okay. We'll deal with it. At least there's not 3 feet of snow on the ground or kind of with rain. How y'all doing today? And we're going to talk a little bit about the Iranian conflict or war, whatever you want to call it. It is a bloody war, but that's okay. We'll deal with it. And we're kicking butt and taking names, I guess, for USA, but nonetheless, it's not good what's going on over there right now. But I'm going to wait to see if we get a few more people online here before we start getting into some news. We'll see if we get a few more people online here. We just now started. There you go. Where is he? Good afternoon, good evening, whatever the case may be. We are now live. And please let me know where you're at in the comment section. All right, good evening. I'm just waiting for maybe a couple more people to jump on board before we start this broadcast. And give me about 2 minutes. We'll see what happens, and then we're going to get started on this broadcast. Appreciate it if you let me know and like and share the video to as many people as possible. And today we do have a bit of breaking news here today. Not a whole lot going on, same thing, but we do have a little bit of updates on what's going on. Today's day is Monday, March 9th at 6:37 p.m. I'm just waiting for a couple more people to join the stream here, and I was running a little late today. Sorry about that. I'm trying to get some things going on here at the house, but yeah, we're live now, and gonna get a little bit of update about what's going on. Leave me in the comment sections where you're from. Yeah, about a minute or so, we'll see what happens. If not, we'll go ahead and get started on this broadcast here in just a minute. Yeah, leave me in the comments where you all from. What part of the world you from? Or country, or the United States, or wherever. I can't dislike you for the country you're in. I just don't like the government system. There you go. Yeah, wait about a minute or so. We'll see if we get some people on here on board, and then we'll get started. Give it a minute or two, and we'll go. So leave me in the comments where y'all from, what part of the world you're from. England, Russia, Africa, Spain, Italy, Iran, Iraq. There you go. Okay, just wait a little bit there. There you go. All right. Hello and good evening. What part of the world are you from? I'm just waiting for a couple people to jump online here before we get started on this broadcast. Let me know where you from. All right, let's go ahead and get started on this broadcast. Anyway, apparently earlier today or this morning, or actually yesterday, there was some the B-52 bombers were headed toward England, and they're going to be set there and get ready to fly over to Iran. Really don't know exactly when that's going to happen. The strike force of the U.S. George W. Bush is still currently on its way to the Mediterranean, or to the Persian Gulf. I'm sorry, not the Mediterranean, but to the Persian Gulf to assist and to be along with the USS Abraham Lincoln and the USS Gerald R. Ford, which is the probably baddest battleship, well, not battleship, aircraft carrier in the face of the earth. Anyway, they're waiting for those to arrive, and one of the reporters asked Trump yesterday if he planned on putting boots in the ground over there. And, of course, he's not going to answer that question. I don't know why reporters are so freaking stupid. You know, what are you planning? Well, anything can be planned, but I'm not going to tell you when, where, and how. I mean, it's kind of stupidity on that part. I mean, I don't know if anybody remembers way back when in the when Iraq attacked Kuwait. Back in the day, I think that was in I believe it was in 1990, I believe, when that happened. And Geraldo Rivera, luxurious asshole that he is, was in the desert with our troops. I believe it was the 3rd Infantry Division. I am with the 3rd Infantry Division. I'm an ex-veteran of that division. Drawing the location of where they were at in the sand in comparison to where the targets are were in Baghdad. Okay, so he's out there saying, "Well, we're here and we're 30 kilometers northwest of Baghdad, and here over here is the Iraqi forces over here, 2 miles over, probably 2 kilometers over here." You know, I'm going, "Come on, dude, you just let them know where the hell we're at." You know, on national TV. Are you stupid? I mean, the man should be shot for freaking treason myself, but I don't know how he escaped that. But you and I disclosed where my location's at, and I'm on a battlefield. I'm gonna have a case of ass. I would have probably shot him in the head right then if I was there. But it is what it is. But like I said, Trump is not going to disclose where a lot of his things are going on. I mean, come on, man, it's for troop safety. It's how you win a war. You don't win a war by telling them when you're going to do it and how you're going to do it and what weapons you're going to use and everything else. You all of a sudden one day you start using them. Simple. But you can tell them, okay, the world commences in 2 minutes. Okay, that's fine, but you don't tell them where you're at. I mean, they already know pretty much where you're at anyway, but you don't give them an exact location on your strength of your troops or anything like that. So the Geraldo Rivera was dumb on that part. But that was back in the Iran, or not the Iran-Iraq war. It was the Iraq war when they invaded Kuwait there. So that was many years ago. That was 1990 or 1991, I believe, is when that happened. But at any rate, that's beyond history. But yeah, he was asked by a reporter today if he planned on putting boots in the ground and over there in Iran, and of course he said, well, I'm not going to answer that. You don't need to know that. Oh my God, you're going to put my troops in jeopardy on that. But so the smart answer, which is good. They like Sleepy Joe Biden. What are you going to do? Don't. Come on, man. Show a little bit of courage up your alley if you're going to do something. But that's the mentality of our reporters from ABC and CBS and NBC and all their affiliates that are brain dead. I don't know how they survive given the news. It's not the news, it's all a lie. Or so deceptive that even when they get caught, they still try to spin it in a different scenario. When they get caught in their lie, they try to spin it around. Like, my God, how many lies can you tell in one sentence? For God's sakes. But, that's ABC News. That's why Rachel Maddow's not there. She's on her own because they flipped her button going to sue ABC for this shit. But, yeah. Anyway, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. It's my channel. I can do whatever I want. Fact check me if you want to. I don't care. You fact check me and correct me if I'm wrong, and I will be the first one to say, yes, I'm wrong. I stand corrected. It wasn't this, it was that, and whatever. At least I'm a man enough to do that. But, anyhow, Trump is sending B-52s, but I believe now they're probably in England somewhere. He's not going to tell you when they're getting ready to move them out or when they're going to start. He's just going to send them over there, and you're going to know after it happens probably. But all these YouTubers are trying to track them and get their location, and, like, that's the dumbest thing you can do. Come on, guys. There's a lot of it's clickbait crap, like the clickbait when they destroy the entire U.S., the entire Iranian Navy. Okay, they did not destroy the entire Iranian Navy. What they did was the United States had sank the ships that were currently in the Persian Gulf from Iran. Iran had a bunch of ships on the dock that were either being repaired and getting ready to go out in the sea for sea duty. Okay, so they did have Navy ships there. They were destroyed yet, but they are now because we blew them out of the water. But yeah, I mean, it's kind of clickbait crap that goes on in YouTube shit. I mean, even the news is pulling that kind of stuff. The dry scenario. Oh my God, the Iranians have blown up an entire army base. No, they didn't. They shot a missile at it. Okay, yeah, but this, the spinning scenario is almost iconic of life. I mean, it's like peace through superior firepower. It explains the duality of mankind. Yes, it does. Come on, man. But it's the truth. If you have to be. If you want peace, I hate to say it, you got to have the firepower to back it up. I know it sucks, but that explains the duality of mankind, just like I said. It's like a soldier going after a peace sign on his helmet. What do you mean by that? Well, I love peace, but unfortunately I got to kill you to get it. I know it sucks, but that's the way it is sometimes. Freedom is not free, people. It comes at a very big high cost, unfortunately. If the world would exchange a lot of more recipes instead of the bullets and wars, we'd probably be a lot happier, probably a lot fatter. Man, I think that we'd probably be a lot unhealthier because some of that food tastes good. But it's like you got to come up with a different idea, a solution to solving problems that are taking a bullet. But sometimes wars are drawn out for financial reasons. Your governments, our government, United States government, is divided into several segments, and it's like the Democrats are warmongers. Every time there's a war, the Democratic Party does make money on it. They have a lot invested in the weapon systems. So therefore, the war breaks, the longer it drags out, the more money Congress is making on their little stock market schemes. So yeah, it's kind of one of those deals. Uh, it's unfortunate but true. They will be the last ones to admit it, but that's the bottom line. The Democratic Party will have their little investment schemes and their munitions field, and if there's a war breaks out, the longer it lasts, the more their stock is, the more money they make because they're investing heavily in these ammunitions deals. So they Democrats want the war. They might tell you they don't, but if they didn't, why do you have stock in ammunition for? That should be the worst. Ammunition should be the worst stock market area to invest in, okay? People only think about it for a minute. If you weren't that worried about war, we're not worried about it. We don't need all that ammo, okay? You wouldn't make any money on it because they don't have to make bullets because there's no wars going on. So you got to use your brain a little bit about that. But anyway, they are sending B-52s over to England. They're there now. Yesterday was the first time in since I believe World War II that a U.S. Navy submarine has actually sank an enemy ship since World War II. Interesting. I applaud them, and there you go. I think they got another Iranian ship today that they sunk, and it's one that, not the one, I know they said they sunk all the ships, but the ones that are coming out of the harbor now to try to get in the Persian Gulf, oh, good gosh, what do they call them? Hormuz, in the Gulf of Hormuz or whatever it is. They're trying to send the ships up there so they can escort their oil tankers out so they can make money to prolong the war. But the United States is going to basically take over their oil anyway. So if there are boots in the ground, my guess is going to be where they're going to secure the oil sites over there. If there are boots in the ground, that would be my guess as the next veteran. They wouldn't blow them all up. It wouldn't be beneficial. You can blow a few of them up to let them know you're there, but it wouldn't be beneficial to the United States to blow every damn one of them up and knowing half them, they just lost all that oil. So my guess is Trump is trying to scare the hell out of them by blowing up these oil fields and makes a hell of an impact, makes a big old firebomb or whatever when it does. But the new regime, guard or crown prince of Iran, or the Ayatollah's son, I can't even pronounce his name, the Khomeini Jr. is taking over, but apparently he was wounded very severely. Right before he was crowned, he was actually severely wounded, and now I guess they hit him with another cluster of bombs, and now he's actually, extremely to where he's. Well, let's just say he's not doing too good for a second day on the job because he's about ready to die. So that is the Ayatollah Khomeini's son. He just crowned the dictator yesterday, and he'll probably be dead by the end of the week. Just my guess. But I wouldn't want to be a dictator in that country, see my own butt right now, because whoever they pick is going to die. Next, chalk that one up as a loss. Who wants this? But if you take a look at your regime change, the IRC, or the Iranian Republican, the IRG, the Iranian Republic Guard, doesn't really have a choice right now but not to surrender, because if you think about it for a minute, they've executed over 30,000 Iranian people. Okay, think about that. You execute 30,000 of your own citizens. And now you're trying to play this game about, oh, I'm sorry, I blew up, a children's hospital. Okay, I don't know what they blew up. They blew up one of their own buildings or something like that. Now they're getting with the Iranian people, saying, "Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to hit our own shit." Okay, you just killed 30,000 of them. Okay, you can't tell me you're sorry about blowing up your own crap because you killed 30,000 of your own people like within this year. So they're trying to play sympathy game on that, or they're trying to say, "Well, this is the oil fields that we're bombing over there right now are creating a global environmental impact." Okay, so you're concerned about a global environmental impact, and yet you kill 30,000 of your own people. You ain't making no sense, guys. But people remember that in your own country. Now, if you killed 30,000 people there, you got to imagine how many different family members there are over there. Okay, 30,000 people. They probably had at least 60,000 moms and dads. And God only knows how many aunts and uncles that are affiliated with that. So you just pissed off millions of people over there by killing 30,000 people. So if I'm an Iranian guard and I'm trying to get on your good side, what are you going to do as somebody who just killed your brother who was an Iranian guard? You're not going to be very happy with him. In other words, if I was an Iranian guard, I would have to fight to the death to defend what I think is right, because I got millions of people on the other side. If I wind up throwing my arms up and going for these trials that are going to be happening afterwards, they're going to hang your butt. They're going to kill you anyway. So you may as well fight to the death. I mean, does that make sense? I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but does it make sense to where the Iranian Republican Guard has to fight to the death? They don't have a choice, because if they do surrender, their own people is going to wind up killing them. If they don't surrender, the United States Army and the Israeli military is going to kill them. So they really don't have a choice right now, in my opinion, and everybody's got one, but to go on and continue fighting. That's why I think it's going to last a little more than a month. They're not going to give up. They'll fight to the last draw breath. And as long as they're getting weapons from Russia and China, that's probably what will happen, unfortunately. I don't think it'll be a long, drawn-out conflict or war or whatever you want to call it. But I do think it'll be drawn out to the very end. They're not going to surrender. At this point in time, it's too late. Negotiations are done. Some people say or mock the United States by saying that we walked away from the table while they were in the middle of negotiating. Well, no. Enough negotiations, enough negotiations. It was a stall tactic by Iran. They were stalling to buy more times to get their shit together, to get more weapons in, to do this shit. So Trump just said, enough, let's do it. You're stalling here. You're just buying your time. Nothing was happening, and it just wasn't going to be a peaceful ending anyway. So that's what they do, is they'll lie their butts off, and they'll say, okay. But now we'll try to blame it on Trump, saying, well, you walked out of the meeting. Okay, well, so he did. He got tired of hearing the shit. It's simple, I mean, he got tired of hearing the prolonged longevity of what was going on. You could tell somebody's stalling by what was going on. You have these private jets coming in from China and Russia. In the meantime, while they're at these secret meetings, trying to get some kind of a deal going on, you got Russian jets flying weapons in, and Chinese aircraft flying weapons in. So yeah, I mean, something had to be done at that point in time. You don't want to let them build it up so damn bad, drop for years. You got to get it over with, unfortunately. But but the spin on the media is going to say, well, blame it on Trump. He didn't, he walked out of a meeting. Well, yeah, I did. I don't blame him. Enough is enough. But there you go. What's up with the Epstein files? Good question. Apparently, they're investigating, Hillary Clinton and Bill Clinton right now. And, of course, they're going to deny everything about what's going on. Hillary's throwing Bill Clinton under the bus right now, is basically what's going on there. Which I kind of figured she would, because she ain't got to be caught in nothing. And Bill's going like acting stupid. If you see him shaking his coffee cup like this, going, oh, I don't know, I don't remember that. 17 trips to his island, 21 trips in an airplane with him. Girls massaging his back with photographs. I think Hillary's trying to throw him under the bus. But they got a long way to go with that trial. There's a lot more to it than just Hillary and Bill. But that's going to be drawn out. You know that as well as I do. But anyway, let me know where you're from. Let's see. Cardin, how do you pronounce your name? Cargindle? I hope I pronounced your name right. Where are you from? What part of the world are you from, or what part of the United States you're from? I mean, you can leave comments in the section what you think might be going on with the Epstein files. I mean, you're probably more news than what the news media is. I mean, the news is going to spin it around to whatever they want it to be to try to deceive you. But I try to listen to all the news, and then I listen to the whole news, and I let my brain figure it out myself. Because if you just let the news dictate what you want to hear, then I feel sorry for you. Hey, well, how's it going in India right now? Are they getting bombarded by Iran too, or no? Iran tried to shoot a missile off in Turkey, yeah. So it's I guess the United Nations had to shoot when a missile down Iran was shooting there. Are they actually hitting India now too, or not? Click on here, man. See ya. Get all messages up there. There you go. Yeah, just remember, it's I welcome all the. Okay, where did you work before, mate? In the news channel. Oh, I did not work in the news channel. I'm just an old veteran. U.S. Army, 3rd Infantry Division, 24th Infantry Division, and United States Military Command. It is under neutral situation. No comments till now. Okay, but yep, I understand that. So let's kind of hope they are still neutral. I mean, it's a shame what's going on over there. I was just curious. No pun intended. I'm just kind of curious. I try to get the information from people on the ground and not the news media, such as ABC and CBS. The people are the news, and they're probably the most reliable news you can get, or the people that are actually there witnessing it. So the news media will spin everything around they could possibly spin to get you to join their affiliate, ABC or CBS or whatever news they want to do. But you got to figure that if you're talking to people that are actually there and you can see with your own eyes what's going on, and that's where you get the news. I can't tell you one way or the other who's right and wrong right now, because it's a big spun off thing. But yeah. How you're connected with the Rothschilds? They're one of the richest families in the world, huh? I don't know. I haven't, really don't have any comment on the Rothschilds. I really haven't done anything really lately about looking them up or finding out what's going on with the Rothschilds. I know they're very rich, and I know they have a lot of control over stuff, but I really don't know all that much about it, what's going on there. I try to get information from all of the news channels, and I try to piece them together, which is kind of hard to do because a lot of the news channels will give you a partial segment of what's going on, and they'll spin it to their narrative. And so you got to try to decipher, okay, so what happened between point A and point C that got you to, that got you to point B's, little effort here. That's very hard to do. So if you listen, sometimes you got to wait a couple of days to actually let somebody know what's going on with the news, because if I say something today that, happened 2 minutes from now, that could change drastically within the hour. It's just like, they say, well, the United States sunk every Iraqi Navy ship in the Gulf. So, where am I from? I am from Terre Haute, Indiana. You know where that's at? That's about almost mid-west. I say mid-east. Middle East. Not quite in the center part, and not quite east. You can look that up and Google that if you want to. Yeah. Anyway, I try to give you the information as I see it, and I try to have different sources, and I got to piece that together in my mind, and then I got to try to think, and then I actually analyze what they were trying to say, and to form an opinion on what's actually happening at that point in time. You know what I'm saying? You know, I just can't take a look at ABC and take everything they say as a grain of salt, because I don't, nor do NBC and CBS and CNN, excuse me, CNN, because they're all based on money and how much money they make from their contributors. So you know that as well as I do. And the more money you make, the more you can hide. So there you go. Connect with me, good girls. From the channel. So you're single, right? Well, I can't connect with the good girls here, bro. Sorry, man. I'm not into all that shit. You know, you can go on to different sites and check that out if you want to. But, you know, good luck to you, though. We do have a lot of good people here. I'll agree to that. But there you go. I will say this. If you all get together and you have friends in the chat room or something like that, I don't mind if you all talking to each other in the chat room. I really don't. I mean, if y'all want to discuss what's going on, or if you have your own private conversation about what's going on, I have no problem with you guys talking to each other in the chat room. Just try to be a little courteous to everybody. Don't be threaten to kill them or whatever it is, just because they got a different opinion than you. Everybody's got a different opinion, like we do elbows and assholes. Or just try not to put their religion down just because you're not Muslim or you're not Christian or you're not Jewish. We all have our faith, and you have to respect that. And just don't try to push your faith on somebody else. I'm not going to try to push my faith on you. How's that? I might push a few recipes on you, maybe try, but you got to in turn give me a few of your recipes too. You know what I'm saying? About me eating food. Well, I don't know how I can do that, brother. You tell me. Yeah, how can I help you find that? I don't know. You tell me how I can do that. There's not that many in India, huh? Sometimes that you can find your soulmate or wherever you have it. Sometimes it take you 40 years to find them. I found my wife, but I'm 65 years old. I found her when I was about 50 years old. I was halfway around the world 14 times. And come to find out, we were at two opposite ends of the coast. I'm in California, and she is from Florida. It took me moving to Indiana in the middle to find my wife. So sometimes it's not where you plan it, and sometimes it's right in front of you. If you're not looking for it, she'll be there. Just don't look for it too hard, man. You're trying too hard. Oh, yeah. Yeah, don't try too hard to find her, man. She'll be out there somewhere. She could be your next door neighbor for you know. Sorry, trying to eat dinner. Leave me a comment on how, if you guys like recipes. You want to talk about recipes sometimes? I'm thinking about making another channel on different recipes from around the world. If maybe trying to think about doing something like that, and in lieu of that, I usually drop a lot of music videos. I haven't here lately, but I like to drop a few music videos on my shorts. I don't know if you all seen them or not, but if you all drop my shorts video, that's be done. Latin music heat. There you go. Get a little bit of Latin music in there. I like all kinds of music. It's like I like all kinds of food. Just like getting over where everybody's at in the chat room, and there you go. Get to know each other in the chat room, where they're from. Get to know your neighbor around the world. You never know. You might make a new friend on here. You just might make a new friend. You never know in this world. I found my wife, and I was halfway around the world 14 times before I found her. But she's sitting in the living room right now, and that's where she needs to be, right there next to my side. Well, sort of my side right now, but I think y'all get the drift on that. So where are you all from around the world? In case you missed my start of the broadcast, you can always rewind it later. You can always go back to the first, restart from the first and skip forward. Afghanistan. Well, there you go. How you doing? How's it going over in Afghanistan right now? Is things calmed down, or is it heating up? And welcome to my channel there. I appreciate it. Hussein Khan. Yeah, there you go. I hope I pronounced that right. And leave me a thumbs up if you can all hear me. I've been having some trouble with my audio lately, and I don't know if the audio is really working correctly. Hello, can you hear me now? Can you leave me a thumbs up if you can hear me now? And welcome to the channel. I appreciate that. And you can like and subscribe to my channel, and we get to know each other. Hey, I make good friends on here. You never know. Pakistan. Why is that? What's going on over there? You're my boots in the ground over there. Why is that? How come? Why is Pakistan and Afghanistan not doing well? You don't know about the war with Iran? You talking about the Iranian war? With the war with Iran right now? Or, I mean, they've got so many conflicts over there right now that it's not even funny. Yeah, I know about the Iran war. I know the UAE is involved. I know that they're shooting missiles at Turkey, and Israel is involved, and I know all that's involved. But that's why I'm trying to figure out what's going on with Pakistan and Afghanistan right now. Are they both upset with Iran right now? They're getting hit by Iran pretty hard, or no? Yeah. Yeah, I have heard a little bit about the Afghanistan-Pakistan war. I guess my question is why are they fighting right now? I mean, can you tell me like why they're at war right now? I mean, you listen to the news, you hear one thing, and you say Pakistan started a war, and you hear the other news and say Afghanistan started a war. You know, I mean, that just yeah, on the border. Is it about the border crisis? Is that what it is? On the border, who's got what control? But the crap. I know the Kurds right now. The Kurdish are fighting right now. They're involved in a lot of stuff right now. I mean, I wish both of them peace myself. I mean, I don't want to see anybody fighting a war. It's nasty, and there's generally at the end no winners, unfortunately. There you go. Over here. There you go. Yeah, they're generally not too many winners in a war. You know, there's just it's sad. You know, that people can't get along or whatever it is for whatever reason. Um, Most of the time, believe it or not, wars are fought over oil and real estate and religion. You know, and it's sad. It really is. You know, I think there's enough in this world where we have other things to worry about other than who's got more bullets than somebody else. But I'd rather say I got more recipes in my book than you do yours. I will have to do my due diligence and read up on the Afghanistan-Pakistan war because I knew that they weren't really too great friends anyway. But I know that Iran and Israel are now becoming close together as far as the Iranian people. Well, not all Iranian people, but a lot of the Iranian people are actually friends with a lot of Israeli people right now because of the situation going on. But you know that's a whole different ballgame all itself. Old days are gone. Yes, I will agree to that. The old days are gone. Well, yeah, it's yeah. I'll say it's fading. Of course, the economy's not doing too great here either. To be quite honest with you, it's a rough ride here too, just like anywhere in the world. It's been kind of rough ever since Nixon got us off the gold standard here, and that was in the early '70s, or late '70s, when President Nixon got us off the gold standard. That's when it's been a rough ride for the United States, and I'm surprised we're still able to handle being the world's currency holder myself. But yeah, some people live. 94% of the USA live. Yep, that's right. I will agree to that. Most of the houses are wood. You have a few what I call stucco houses, if you know what that is, but stucco is still built of wood. Very few are made of brick here, and that's kind of expensive, I guess, but yeah. Yeah, because if you take down the dollar and you break it down and tear it in thirds, you're only going to have a little piece of paper left out of that. Yeah. Yeah, it is. Well, back in the '70s, and actually way back when, I don't want to talk about terrorists right now because terrorists aren't that good. But in the United States, we didn't have to tax people. I can't remember the exact years they were, but we basically were a tariff country, okay, which means that we were taxing other countries for their financial reason, not taxing our own people. Do you know the United States actually did better then without taxes in the United States because of tariffs? Yeah, I'll say that was. It was different. The times were different. We had no internet, so we actually, when we were a kid, you actually played outside. When we got some fresh air. You had more of an imagination in the '60s and '70s when I grew up. When you got to the '80s and '90s, it was getting a lot of technical, a lot of technical, a lot of technical shit going on there. Yep, we were definitely free, and we didn't have a lot of stuff going on back then either. It's like we do now. No cell phones. Yep, there you go. Well, we did see a couple cell phones in the Barnaby Jones movie where the guy had a big ass phone about yay big, and he was calling on his car phone. But yeah, I mean but it's not the same thing as it is now. I mean, when I was working, I used to go on my work break, and everybody's on their cell phone, talking on their cell phone, or they're texting. Nobody's talking to each other. What's up with that? Cell phones became the demise of mankind. I think. It's the need for speed. Yeah, I don't know if anybody writes any letters anymore. It's always texting or emailing. And it's kind of funny because I don't know how it is in their countries, but if you don't answer my email or my text message in like a split second, I think there's something wrong. But before, like I said, I don't know, but we hung out. Friends played basketball, softball, bicycle. Everybody. Oh yeah, you met up at the local high school or whoever had the basketball hoop outside their house. Man, that's where you all hung out at. And y'all got together. Your mom knew where you was at all the time. Well, most of the time she knew you was at her, but I think you get the gist of what it was. To me, there were simpler times. I grew up in the '60s and '70s, and I think a lot of people in here probably maybe not know what I'm talking about or what you're talking about. But what year did you grow up in? Clifton, 1260. Camping in the forest, the hills. Hills, still good. Yep, we're camping too. Camping and fishing. 2001. So you're born in 2001. You're talking about the '70s being good, brother. You watching TV and there you go. But hey, it was great, in my book. You graduated in '76. There you go. There you go. You were kind of yeah, you were right there. But I graduated in '79. So we're about the same year. I'm from Bangladesh, where you're from, and I'm supporting the Khomeini regime. Okay, I'm from Terre Haute, Indiana, and I appreciate your thought on supporting the Khomeini regime. Uh, you got your opinion, I got mine. I mean, I don't support it, but then again, I value your opinion. I'm not going to down you for it. This is not my version of the channel to do that. It's like you have your opinion on why you support the Khomeini regime, and I have mine. But there you go. Iran has a king system, and they need power. Well, yeah, but the king. Well, it's much like England. Only England, what people don't understand is uh, England does have a king and queen, but they also have what's called a parliament, which is kind of like what our government system is here, where we have a separation of powers. Okay, Uh, you guys are smart enough to know that, but the king and queen is basically an old tradition of formality where the prime minister is actually the president and so forth, but they'd have to go through a formality just to do that. Okay. Vietnam, okay. Armenian language words are spoken in like 8 different countries. And they had dominance like 600 years ago. Yep, they did. Yep, that's right. 600 years ago was a long time, though. We knew that we were all going to Vietnam then in 11th grade. They ended up in the war and screwed off because they knew we were going to die in Nam. Yes, sir. Yeah, it's about 100% true. You know, a lot of them got drafted and was getting drafted. Uh, but I think the United States has finally figured out that an all volunteer force is much better than a forced draft. You get a much higher quality of people that way, I think, because if you're forcing somebody to fight for you, your head's not in it. You know what I'm saying? But if you're willing to do something, you're more willing and apt to doing something than you're not, if that makes any sense. But it's a lot of things have changed over the years. I was in under the Jimmy Carter and Ronald Reagan era when I was in there. There was my commander's chief, where I thought um, Jimmy Carter, uh, as they agreed about what Air Force. Yeah, see, I was in under Jimmy Carter and Ronald Reagan. Now, Jimmy Carter sucked as a president when I was in. I mean, I was military, so I had to obey his orders. But Jimmy Carter sucked as a president. He was I'm not gonna call it, but he was a pussy, you know. But I will say that but on the other hand, Jimmy Carter is a great humanitarian, or was a great humanitarian. Okay, he just didn't know how to run the country. But I loved him as a humanitarian. I mean, when he got done with his presidency, he'd done a lot for the American people. Believe me, he did. But when Reagan finally took over, um, he was he was not to be reckoned with. He was called the Great Communicator, and because he did that very, very well, and he could talk you into you could talk you in your pants off. You never even know until it was too late. But that. So I was under there two different types. I was from one extreme president to the next. Okay, the U.S. Started as a factory nation for the British Empire, I think. Uh, yeah, I mean, we're actually a factory nation for all around the world. Really, I mean, if that's kind of what you're looking at. We were not just us. We were basically a powerhouse back then because we were we were a nation of immigrants, and that's a whole different story about what's going on in this country right now about me being illegal and illegal. Yes, Reagan was better. There you go. As I said, uh, yeah, like I said, I was served under two presidents. I served under Jimmy Carter and Ronald Reagan, and Reagan was just way better than Carter ever was. But like I said, Carter was a great humanitarian, don't get me wrong. He's just a lousy president. And Reagan was probably one of the best presidents I think we've had in probably in the last 100 years or so. But, it's just surprising how you get a whole different change in your country's military standards by changing one president. I mean, Reagan didn't mess around. He said he was going to do something, he did it. Just like Trump. I mean, I don't like everything Trump does, but you got to admit, if he says he's going to do something, he's going to do it, whether you like it or not. So that's just take heed of that. But but Trump is not a politician, and Reagan was not a politician. So you had two presidents there that were not even politicians there. Yeah, the British had so much money in India that I'm trying to read it a little bit. The officers used to go from England to the East India in 80 days and 1770 normal people. Oh yeah, oh yeah, that was true. A lot of people don't realize that Britain owned a lot of India back in the day. A lot of people don't realize that. And of course, things change over time. But yeah, I like Trout, but a fact and diplomacy not. Yeah, there you go. You can. I mean, like I say, everything going on is is subject to subject to your own opinion. It's kind of like, unfortunately, people talk about dictatorship. Trump's a dictator. Okay, Trump cannot be a dictator. It's impossible because we have a judicial system and a legal system here that says otherwise. Trump cannot do certain things because he has to go through Congress and House of Representatives to get things done. You know what I'm saying? So really, if people want to talk about our president of the United States has very limited. I mean, don't get me wrong. He's got a lot of power. He's got a lot of influence. But but the influential part is trying to get your House of Representatives and your Senate, your state Senate or your GOP together to vote on something, so you can send it to the president to say, yeah, okay, now we all agree on this. Let's do it. There's a lot of times the president can only suggest you do something. He can't do squat unless he has the authority of the GOP in the House. And people are just sitting there saying, no, Trump's this and Trump's that. Well, he really legally can't be. So there you go. To the bone. And most to understand his mannerisms only. Yeah, I agree. Like I said, Trump is Trump. Whether you like it or not, he is what he is. I mean, do people make mistakes? Yeah, I'm sure he's made mistakes in his life. Have you? Yeah, okay. There's the bottom line. We have all made mistakes in our lives. Just like people trying to call him a racist. Do you realize that he actually spends billions of dollars on black colleges out of his own pocket? You also realize that Trump is not taking his salary for being president of the United States of America out of his own pocket. The West Wing or the East Wing that he's building right now, the ballroom, that is out of his own pocket, not taxpayers' money, people, okay? So, I don't know what to tell you, but, I'm not saying the man's great all the way around. I mean, I think he could use better use of his money than the West or East Wing, but, hey, as long as the taxpayers ain't paying for it, I don't care what he does with his money. As long as he does with my money and your money what he needs to do with it, that's the key. And stop sending money to other countries. Bottom line, we're getting petty doing that. The U.S. needs to isolate for like 20, 30 years, like Japan and Australia. Yep, yeah, I agree. I do agree with that, and I think that's almost what really Trump is going for right now. They're trying to get out of the United Nations. I don't know if that's really going to happen or not, but he's tired of being the world's policeman, if that makes any sense to you. So, the United Nations, they'll tell you, no, we don't want your ass over here helping us out. But on the other hand, when push comes to shove, like the Iranians are firing missiles at Turkey, okay, the United Nations finally got off their butts and started firing back, the United Nations did, which I was shocked to even hear that. But, it's like, it's always been one-sided about the United States. The United States has carried more countries around the world for years and getting slapped in the face all the time. And I think he's one of the few presidents who's got up and said, I've had enough of this crap. I'm done with it. I'm tired of paying for your defense over there. Time for you to pay a little bit on your defense system. But, that is what it is. Like I said, Trump is not a politician. And you're right, he is a New Yorker. New Yorkers, I mean, I spent a little bit of time in New York, not much, but when I was stationed overseas, there was like guys from Texas and California and New Yorkers, and they're all different in their mannerisms. And New Yorkers don't take shit from nobody. They don't. They'll tell you straight up, gee, they're like people in Philadelphia. Philadelphians, they're the same way. They don't take shit from nobody. And it seems like they're rude, but they're not, if that makes any sense. Like you said, New Yorkers are a whole different breed. But, but I think now they're seeing what they have over there in their mayorship with Mom Dammy or whatever his name is, that the guy lied his ass off to get to get there, and now people are figuring out, my taxes are going up. What happened to my free bus rides? What happened to my free my free child care? And yeah, they're trying to figure that out. Like I said, freedom is not free, people. They tried the governmental grocery store system, and it does not work. Man, then he's trying to get something in New York. He's trying to get under New York skin, and he succeeded. But with a lot of Somalis over there, you have, the divisions over there, that's it. Enemy alliance with Mexico, Canada, and make some Canada. Let's see, United States make an alliance with Mexico, Canada, and make Canada, USA, Mexico. That's funny. I never thought about that way. Yeah, they did that to become. You call it come. Here we come. Yeah, that's funny. I never thought about that. I got to remember that one. There you go. So where are you from, Treasure Island? That's a good one. I never thought of it that way. But yep, there you go. That's funny. That's hilarious. Thailand. There you go. Never been to Thailand. Seen pictures of it and videos of it. I see it's beautiful. What's your favorite dish over there in Thai food in Thailand? You got a favorite meal over there for the Thai food, or what their national food would be, I guess. Always rice based, probably like Japanese or probably like Chinese rice, a lot of rice based food. Of course, keep in mind there's so much the population in certain dense areas. You have where the to where the meat is not. I'm not going to say that not as abundant. It's more of a filler. That's why a lot of them are rice based. Is more of a filler. A lot of your spices are probably making up for 2/3 of what you don't have in your meat. If I'm not correct, is that about right? Where they eat a lot of rice, maybe spices in their dishes, maybe a little bit of meat here and there, like chicken or beef or pork or whatever they use. Probably very little of that, and make it more spices with the rice. Yeah, I kind of figured as much. I mean, China is, like I said, China is population probably next to India. It's probably the largest population on the face of the earth. They eat a lot of where it's rice based. Japan, as small of an island as it is, has a lot of people on a small island. So you don't have so much cattle there, and so yeah, they use a lot of fish on the island there. So it's probably more fish based than cattle based. If you do get meat over there, it's probably very, very, very expensive. For that reason. That's why most of them probably have a lot of spice dishes or something like that. But I love Chinese food, dude. I mean, if you're short on money, learn how to cook Chinese food, man, you'll be all right. Or Thailand food, because they know how to make their dollars stretch. You know what I'm saying? There you go. So, anybody who would like to subscribe to the channel, I'd appreciate it if you like to subscribe to my channel. It'll help me grow. I'm trying to get a laptop so I can give you a little bit better quality, okay, a lot better quality pictures and a lot better news. I can actually show you the news clips that I'm getting my information from. Instead of me telling you where to go to get it, I can actually show you where it's at, and that's why I'm trying to get my laptop so I can do that. So it's like If you want to donate to my channel, that'd be great if you can. It's a DK News 60 Terre Haute at gmail.com. That's with PayPal. Um, yeah, if you can, it's under my description of my PayPal. What you can donate to there. I don't have an actual link. You can click on it and just go there. You have to actually type it in. You got your PayPal account. And you can send or transfer money to. If you do it as family and friends, it's all free. That's why I would do it under family and friends. That way they transfer it for free. But it would be appreciated, if you could. I'm trying to get that link hooked up to where you don't have to go through all, type it in. You can just click on it and go. But I try to be probably unbiased on a lot of my news channels. I just call it as I see it, so I might be a little bit more heavier on one side than the other one day, and maybe I might be a little bit more leaning on the other side than this side, so it's just the way it is. You try to be unbiased as an informationalist, I guess. I'm not a news channel. Okay, I'm just a guy out there that does information. Okay, do you like magic stories? Most of them are true. Yeah. I really haven't heard of too many magic stories at all. Magician can see future and predict that. Well, a magician is, well, a lot of sleight of hand. It's a lot of props that they go through. It takes years to develop a certain specific technique and how to do something. So I'm not going to say that he can actually see things in the future. I mean, I don't know. I'm not a magician, so I couldn't tell you. But I know a lot of nursery rhymes, at least here in the United States. A lot of nursery rhymes promote death and suicide and murder. And I will prove that to you. And that in the United States that when you're taking a nursery rhyme, but a magic prediction always becomes true at the person that can make it, though. Yeah, you can make anything dull if you really try. Sometimes you gotta use your imagination. The mind is a terrible thing to waste. But getting back to nursery rhymes, most of the nursery rhymes that we teach our kids, and are like death and murder and suicide. I mean, take a look at Humpty Dumpty. Humpty Dumpty is a suicide mission. Okay, he sat on a wall. He had a great fall. Yeah, and nobody could put him back together again. Okay, there you go. What do you do? Jump off the wall, commit suicide? Yeah, come on now. Or how about blue color can be used to hunt and magic. I did not know that. I did not know that. It's interesting that blue color can be used to hunt and magic. That's interesting. But and now you got Alice in Wonderland. Okay, Alice in Wonderland was about acid and drugs. I mean, who else would follow a rabbit down a hole? And one can still. There's a good fortune with the elephant. Yeah, painted in red. Huh. Are these Thai magician stories that you're talking about here, or what? I mean, that's interesting. But the statues have been made in a sexual position, like an elephant and a human in a sexual position. Huh. I didn't realize that, I guess. I mean, I never really paid that close attention to the type of position they were in when I'm watching the videos and stuff, but I have to check that out sometime to see if that's really what it is. Let's see. And magicians live for hundreds of years in secret and they don't age. There you go. I don't know if I want to be a magician to live that long, though. Yeah. If they die looking young, and they have to give up everything they like. Yeah. Those things. That sounds like a vampire, where a vampire lives hundreds of years or whatever it is. But you know, they're actually what vampires? They're actually real vampires. People think it's a myth, but it's not. I think his name was Vladimir. Oh gosh, what was his name? Vladimir Dracula. It was his name. He had a castle on a hill in Hungary. Yep, like a beggar. But Vladimir, how he got his reputation from being a vampire was he would raid the town below his castle, and he would hang the village people upside down and cut their throat and let them bleed out. Believe it or not. And so, yes, there was a real vampire. His name was Vladimir Dracula. There was a real Dracula, and but that's how he actually got his fear in there. But he didn't go around, second, flying around. But there was an actual Vladimir. There was actually a book written about him, and I think it's Vladimir or something like that. Vladimir Dracula or something like that. Correct me if I'm wrong, or you can Google it up yourself and let me know what his actual name was. But I believe he was in Hungary. That he was actually real there. And people think it was false there, but yeah, well, yeah, bloods are used in magic like so many gold. Yeah, some like the satanic. They like the satanic version here. A lot of them use goat's blood or whatever it is for their satanic ritual. I'm not satanic, so I've never been to a ritual, but my understanding is that they do use blood in their trough. But I think it's animal blood. It's not human blood like people think it is. I don't say Satan worshippers are not that stupid, to be realistic guys. But I mean, they do some weird shit. But they kind of fall within them a little. They come close to borderline breaking the law to doing their stuff that they can probably get to doing it. But yeah, they don't. They're not gonna kill somebody for their blood. Although they have what do you call it? What I call wannabe people that want to be satanic worshipers that fall in that realm. Green his own ghosts. Some ghosts become really popular. Some people worship them. Yep, yeah, some people do. There you go. Hang on one second, bro. I'm gonna take a station break here. I'll be back in about 5 minutes. Okay? Give me 5 minutes. I'll be right back. Do not go away. Hello, everybody. I am back, and welcome back to DK News 60 Terre Haute, Indiana. Mm, United States' second Vietnam is coming. Well, no, actually, that was the Afghan war that was our second coming. This is probably going to be our third. But, we've learned a lot since then, so I don't think it's going to be another Vietnam by any sense of the word. Um, to be quite honest with you, but yeah, it's just one of those things that it's going to last more than a month. I'll guarantee you that probably. But the Iranians will fight to the death. They don't have a choice but to fight to the death because if they surrender, their own people are going to kill them. And if they don't really have a choice because they killed so many of their own people that they're after them like what on rice and fly on shit. So it is what it is. So I'm in the middle of making dinner, so if I happen to be cut you off abruptly, I'm making my dinner tonight and. There you go. I'd rather exchange recipes and than war any day. So let me know where you're from and what kind of food you like. Or if you've tried anything out of your own country's realm of food. Now, I've tried real Chinese food, Japanese food. I've tried a little bit of Korean food, German food, Mexican food. I've tried a little bit of English food. I was overseas for a couple of years, so Italian food. I've tried quite a few food, mostly European style food. Some Middle Eastern, or some what I call Asian food, I guess. I haven't really tried any Indian food, for that fact, but yeah, I'm game. I'm open to trying different foods. Some of that tastes pretty damn good. It makes, smells good. And probably wouldn't want to know what's inside of it, but there you go. So tell me where's everybody from in here? I'm just getting back started here, and where's everybody from, and what are your thoughts on the Iran war going on right now? People call it a war, but anytime you have missiles firing all over the place, left and right, yeah, it's a war. Okay, I don't know what to tell you. There you go. Let's see. Child Hurry, where you from? Treasure. Yeah, I believe they will lose, but like I said, they're not going to have a chance but to fight to the death. That's why I think it's going to last a little bit more than a month. You got to remember they just killed 30,000 of their own damn people over there, so they're they don't have the Iranian guards don't have a choice but to try to change it, and that's just the bottom line. Like somebody you're killing your own family members, and you know that if you lose, you're going to die anyway. You may as well fight to the death because if somebody's killed people in your family member, then you're not going to be too happy with it. Okay, that's just the bottom line. Now, so they kind of piss too many people off over there. They have their chance now to change the regime if they can vote somebody in to a democratic process. That would be wonderful because if you have at least somebody that's representing the majority of your people there, that's the way it needs to be. If you do it honestly and without cheating or anything like that, and you pick a dictator again, hey, this is on you guys. You picked him, you live with him. I'm not going to help you out anymore. But this is Iran's perfect opportunity to change their regime, and that's what else can I say? The Iranian people, they need to start stepping up the game now a little bit and start, helping out the United States and Israel. If this is what they want, they need to step up the game a little bit. They're over there. I mean, I realize they're in hiding right now, but the bottom line is keep your kid's head. But boy, if you see the Iranian guards out there, you need to turn them in or shoot them or something. But you can't just sit there and let them walk the street. They're walking all over you. You can't let them do that. This is your chance now, so take advantage of it because you ain't going to get that one for another 50 or 60 years. I'll guarantee you that. if that. So, a policeman in the 1930s was told by a magician if he doesn't want to get killed, he should not drink, shave his beard on Tuesday and every evening take a bath outside. Well, that's interesting. The police made a lot of enemies and they had no power after retirement. Wow, that is interesting. That's very, very interesting. It really is. Yeah, baby, you're right. You shall have to see. All right. Well, sorry about that, guys. I'm just in the middle of making dinner. There you go. Yeah, I would be surprised if they didn't have no power after retirement. Well, usually they retire, they don't have any power at all anyway, so it doesn't matter. And yeah, no one else. He was in the house. He went straight to me. Their parents' room. He vanished. The guy came later. Now, that's a scary thought. Was he a nice ghost, or was he a mean one, or was he just a scary type ghost? The freeze was very bad. Well, that don't sound good. What did you do when you saw it? Or actually, what did you do when it came back? I mean, were you surprised it came back, or were you scared when it came back, and what did you do? You searched, okay. What do you mean by you searched him? How did you know what he was? How did you know what he was later? Search for brother. Search for brother. Are you the ghost brother, or your brother? I did not know it was a ghost. Wow. When did you find out exactly it was a ghost? Okay, we got a lot of laying on our hand there, Sharon. Love you. Yeah, we got a lot of land on our mist in there. Talking about ghost. Talking about ghost. That's okay. I keep busy for the next couple of hours just to get a couple hours reading on my show.
Oh, I'm gonna get for free.
Yeah.
It was $2.45, and I can get it for free.
What's
It's
that?
a fiddler's meat and vegetable.
A fiddler being a vegetable?
Yeah.
Hold on, I'll make my dinner, bro.
Huh?
Gotta hold on, I'll make my dinner. There you go, put me in to see today. Mighty Mouse is on his way.
I love free stuff.
Yeah, I love free stuff too when it's free. When it's really free.
Huh?
I love free stuff too when it's really free. Freedom! Out of mail. Want a little lesson? Think a lesson on there or something on there too?
Huh?
A little piece of lettuce on there too?
I don't. It's not lettuce. It's cabbage.
I know you want a little piece of cabbage on there too? Yeah, put a little of these on there. Look at here. There we go. All right. There we go. Won't be. Okay, this is this. Where did they put the can opener? Can opener? Where's the can opener? Can opener. Alright. Where'd the can opener go? You don't let me pistola. Oh, shit. Oh, there it is right there. There you go. All right, we got this. All right, here's that. That. Ah, shit. There's that. Widows. There you go. Throw some cream on there. Damn. Mayonnaise. Where's the mayonnaise? Mayo. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. A bit of mayonnaise. Mm-hmm. A bit of mayonnaise. All right, mayonnaise. Yeah. Mm-hmm. 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 There you go. All right, now, your mama's dish going here. Let's see here. Get on there, does it? Wish it would be tender. Tender, juicy. There you go. Here, honey. Try that, see what you think. If you want one, I'll get you another one. How's that? It's a small one, but try that, see what you think. Not exactly how I cook it, but it's, you get the gist of it. The sandwich there. There you go. Hang on, I'm cooking my dinner.
Well, shit.
What?
I lost my sandwich.
How'd you lose your sandwich?
Came out.
You haven't ordered it on the plate?
Yeah, it's on the plate, but
Well, you take a bite of it in there. Take a bite of it, I guess. It's never you want one. Don't mind me. Get over here in a minute. There you go. Oh, shit. Alright, folks, I'm going to eat my sandwich real quick, and then there you go. Hey, how's it going, buddy? Where you from, say it, Southie? Well, there you go. You watch the show when I eat, and I make a show when I eat.
no.
Like a business show. Yeah. I like all kinds of shows myself. I mean, sometimes do business shows, sometimes about music, sometimes it's about politics. And I just try to get the what people really think of themselves. I don't watch the news except for the pick it apart.
Damn it. It's yeah, it's like 8. It's about a quarter after 8 here.
You get a chance to talk to him very much? What do you think of Governor Newsom? I mean, Governor Newsom. To play on where Governor Newsom. What do you think of that Governor Newsom over there in California? So he really hadn't been here that long. Then had. Did you like it in California? Hmm. Most houses in the United States are wooden anyway, so by no change. Wow. Yeah, it sounds a bit like California. How long you worked in the bar for? Probably safer as a security guard than a bartender, I'm sure. You drive for like Uber or Lyft or something like that? Well, yeah. So maybe it's not that he doesn't want to come back, maybe he can't because he didn't have the money to. Well, there you go. Maybe he'll be able to come back when he gets his pension check. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he could. Well, he gets his pension check. He'll probably come back. He probably has the money to do it. You miss your uncle? Bless you, honey.
Thank
Well, if you go to Australia in a few years and your uncle decides to go back, you're going to miss him there too. Oh, okay, you're going to go to your other uncle's house. Well, I got you.
Hello. It's off. It's been shut off. It goes automatically to the text now. That's a good thing to go with if you don't have any service.
You can have internet, but
Until they catch you. Is there any more, babe?
any more? Yeah, there's another one. You want another one?
I'll have one more.
Okay.
That was delicious.
Okay.
Even though it kept on falling out of my damn plate. It was chicken from the other night that I made. And it was delicious. Oh my god, it was delicious. Have you ever heard of Misty and Kyle Knights? It's on Facebook. They're magicians. They're actual. I've got a plate here, baby.
Oh, okay. You maybe walk over there, aren't you? Try to put a little tomato in there because it's kind of juicy. It's not real tomatoes out of that. Mine got kind of soggy.
He had radiation today. Yeah.
Yeah, they had radiation.
And he's got radiation tomorrow.
Yeah, sit there, buddy. I'll be right back, all right?
He's got chemo in the morning. And sees the doctor. Today was a busy day for us. So I had an appointment. My last therapy. Say what?
Yeah, hell.
It went okay. They had to let me go. They had to let me go for a break. And I actually had a picture of taking of me and my therapist because she won't be back. She won't be coming back.
You want mayonnaise on it or what?
Yeah.
Mayonnaise, no.
Mayonnaise, the way you had it.
Okay.
Come on, Tiki, I'm trying to watch this, and you're in my way. Bring my screen and we'll bust your ass. Oh, bye, shut up. Probably you. You probably wanted to get out.
Shit. Oh, shit, Larry, they got you, boy.
Yeah. She knows how to open that door.
All right, folks, I'll be back on about 9 o'clock tonight. I'm going to take a dinner break, all right? All right, I'll see you about 9 o'clock tonight, and see you soon. Have a good day.